Z, I hope everything is going well for you. You're staying healthy and staying safe. Got my country presentation here on Afghanistan, and I tried to find the most accurate and up-to-date information that I could. So for background information, just started off by talking about the geography real quick. Afghanistan is a landlocked mountainous Islamic republic. Its neighboring countries are Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Iran, Pakistan, and it has a small sliver connected to China in the northeast. Although Afghanistan is one of the world's poorest countries due to war and famine, which we will touch on a lot soon, it does have some good years where it can produce enough food and food products to provide for its own people, as well as to create a surplus for export. So yet again, Afghanistan has been dealing with war through terrorist organization, and there's been a lot of destruction, leaving little to be salvaged for economic growth. So we're going to start by talking about the political system. Like I said, it is an Islamic republic, which is broken up into three branches: the executive, legislative, and judiciary. This is like our system, where it uses a system of checks and balances, so one branch doesn't gain too much power. The current president is, I hope I don't butcher this, Ashraf Ghani, who replaced Hamid Karzai in 2014. Now, in Afghanistan, there's one central city, Kabul, where there's a strong military focus because war has been a large part of its history. However, in terms of government, when regimes such as the Taliban come in, they create high autonomy at times, which is like a form of self-government. So Afghanistan is broken up into little sections based on tribes. So realistically, it's mostly up to the tribes to make economic decisions. And it also has a very undeveloped healthcare system with no welfare. So the services by the government are minimal, and you're really only going to find any form of healthcare in Kabul. We're also going to touch on this when we speak about how COVID-19 is affecting Afghanistan right now. So now to get into the economy and trade dealing with Afghanistan, they have an overall GDP of 23.35 billion as of 2009, which was the most recent information I could find. To put that into perspective, the US right now is at around 20 trillion in gross domestic product, so it is very low in comparison. Their labor force is 15 million, which in some part has been due to the Taliban regime, as they have prevented women from working in the workforce. Their unemployment rate is 40%, and their population in poverty is at 53%. So that's at the poverty line and below that. Talking about exports, their partners are the US, France, India, and Pakistan. And they've exported up to 603 million as of 2008. So with inflation and time passing, I would assume that it is around the 1 billion mark, but Afghanistan is not as up to date with their records. Their commodities, they're pretty much an agricultural society. So they've got fruits, nuts, wool, cotton, pelts. There's also some refined goods such as carpets. They do have opium, which is a whole other branch of economics, and gems. There are some high quality gems that they've been mining there. Now, Afghanistan relies heavily on imports, dealing from Pakistan, South Korea, Japan, Germany, Turkmenistan, Kenya, the US, and Russia. Now their imports as of 2008 are 8.27 billion, which is a lot more than their exports. And when you want to have a strong economy, you really would like to see your exports as much as your imports. You want a nice balance there. But as we know, they really rely on other countries for financial support. And their commodities that they import are just basic capital goods, food, textiles, and basic products. So the big topic at hand currently is COVID-19, or the coronavirus. Now we know Afghanistan is a really underdeveloped country, but as of March 25th, there's only been 75 confirmed cases across 12 provinces. Now there's been a lot of speculation across the news and stuff. We know that confirmed cases are based off of testing, and a lot of countries don't have the amount of tests that we do here in the US. So, I mean, Afghanistan has one public health laboratory that does a maximum of 50 tests a day at $1,600 US each. So there are not a lot of people that can, one, afford that, travel to the location that they are, which is in Kabul, and they're really struggling here. They've got one national isolation center with a maximum capacity of 100 beds. Across the whole country, there's regional isolation centers with a total capacity of 991 beds. There's only been one confirmed COVID-19 related death, 2 reported recoveries. We'll never know how accurate this exactly is, but they are taking certain measures to prevent the spread. Schooling has been closed, and there are some religious celebrations that have been suspended for the time being. But a major portion of the problem here is that there are a lot of refugees that cross the Iranian border every day. And talking about their poor healthcare system with this involved, they've also got other problems that fill up beds. Due to war, there are mines that have not been dug up that are still active, and thousands of people get maimed a year by these mines. So overall, it is a tough position. They're really relying on the UN for aid, and hopefully this can be resolved soon, because it is just involving a lot of death for underdeveloped countries such as Afghanistan and their neighboring countries. And lastly, I have my references here. I did want to add one thing. Afghanistan did have their World Trade Organization application approved by members, so they will be joining that in 2020, which will hopefully improve their economy. And I hope that you're staying safe, Mr. Z. I always enjoyed coming to class. Hope everyone's healthy around you, and hopefully be able to talk back again with you in the fall. Hopefully we're back in classes. So thank you for listening to this, and have a good rest of the summer.